Yeah. Right. So let us open our screen. Now let us. Yeah. So we have implemented all types of assertions and we have seen, right? So this dummy sampler is not required right now. So now today we'll see how to pass the test data. That is like parameterization. These things don't need right now. For practice purpose, you can do this. Put a response assertion. Yeah. First, let me run once. If I put number of threads is number of users, loop count, if I want to run my script for multiple times, I'll put it here. If I put here 5, your script will run 5 times. If I put 3, 3 times. So every time you need to select this generate parent sample. You can say 1, 2, 3 times. So script is working fine. Now let us uh, do the parameterization. Parameterization in the sense what? Passing the test data. So where we will pass the test data? First of all, yeah. Application. Yeah. So here, this is what is the scenario? You launch, then you select your cities, right? So here, are we passing any data? This data or cities you're selecting from list box. These cities are coming from server. We are not entering, right? So here, you don't need to pass any test data. Here also, you're just selecting, right? You're selecting the available airlines. Here, you're not entering any test data. Here, while entering the customer details, here actually you are entering your details. Say the same thing. So, like this is static data you're entering, right? So this is called passing the test data. Say for example, here the same thing whenever in the script, if you look into this, where it is passing that data, what is the action? You are entering the details and click on purchase, right? If you go to this purchase here, this is what you are entering the details. Now when I run this for multiple times, if you see, let me run this for multiple times. Yeah, you can see purchase. Oh, in the request, it will pass the data. Like, you can see the data. What is this passing? Card number, person name, address, Robin. So, this for first iteration. For second time, it is passing the same name. In the third time also, it will pass the same name. Because here it is passing as a static, right? Even if I run this for 100 times, it will pass the same customer details. But this is not the requirement, right? So actually, when you are running with, for example, the same data, test data, or the application is used by the 100 different users. So that means what? All the 100 different people, they have their different name, address, everything should be different, right? Those should be passed differently, right? That process is called parameterization, passing the static test data for different users or for multiple iterations. So before actually you do the parameterization, first of all, you need to have the test data ready, right? So already prepared the test data ready. I will share this, but always use the test data in a CSV format. Okay. Okay. I put this in a CSV format. No. Okay. First of all, let me show you the test data I prepared. Yeah. This is the test data. I have already prepared for 200 records. Okay. You can use this. You don't need to prepare this. So this test data I want to pass. Say for example, so this is the test data I want to pass. Let me put a, this is a test data. Right. And in the application where you're passing here in place of name and this thing, I want to pass this data dynamically. Like every time when I run, it should pass this test data to the script. This data will be passed into the script. Now, how we are going to pass that we'll see. So if even if I run for multiple times, multiple rows of data will be passed every time. New test data should be passed into the application. So I have already prepared the test data sheet. Okay, you can see this. But normally you need to save this as a CSV file. So I have created the test data for 200 records. Okay, now let us see. How do I pass this data in the script? Right now you are passing what? Same data, right? You can cross check here. Every time you run, it is passing the same data. Now let me clear. So if I want to pass that data in my script, first of all, what you need? You need a config element. So it is part of what? Test data is part of your config element. Just right click. You can right click. You can set that at the test plan level, or I can add it to thread group level also. Go to config elements. Here you have something called CSV dataset config. Just click on this. This is an element through which you can do the test data passing. Simple. First of all, you need to save your data into CSV format. I've already saved that. You need to select that file from here. That's it. I have saved into Jmeter. Here I have test data.csv. So this one, just open this. Right now, how do I pass these values? Let me open the CSV value. Yeah, this one. Right? These values actually row by row, I need to pass every time when I run. So if you observe, each these things have the same column names, right? You need to have a column name. So if you have a column name, I want to pass these column names as a variables in my script so that it will pass the data which is under this column names. Or this one. So this name column contains all the customer names. Address will contain all the addresses. So like that, I want to pass. So here, first we'll try to explore these options. What all file encoding, you just need to be blank. Okay, if you have any junk data in the same, then you can select this UTF-8, the normal text related. And here, variable names, whatever you declare, okay, that variable name should be passed in your script. But if I already have the column names, I want to use this column name as my variable. You don't need to mention anything. Just leave this blank. Here, just leave this blank. And here, ignore first line should be false. Okay. Okay. So why it should be false? Because first line always it is taking as a variable names. So put it as a false. Now delimiter used is comma. Don't change this because comma means what? Each field is separated by comma. That is why it is called CSV, comma separate value. Okay. And if your data has any double quotes, normally if you have any double quote, your script will fail. So sometimes you'll get the test data from the test data team, database team. That might contain some junk values like double quotes. So you can make this true. Okay. And what do you mean by recycle on end of file? EOF means what? End of file. That means, say, for example, here we are running with, let us say, 100 records of test data. And I'm running with 100 users or 50 users. And if I'm running this for 50 users, if I run for multiple iterations or for a longer duration of half an hour, each user picks one, 50 users will pick 50, right? So these 50 users test data will be completed in 3 to 4 minutes. So what you want to do rest of the time, like normally you run for 1 hour or half an hour. But if the test data is completed or it is already used by all the users in 5 minutes. The rest of the time, what you want to do? Again, recycle means again start from the beginning. That is called recycle on end of file. That you need to put it as true. And you want to stop the thread on end of file. So once if it is reaches the end, so you want to stop the script or you want to continue? No, I want to continue, right? This testing or on real time also, you don't have millions of records of test data. They will provide you at least 500, 200 records of test data. But when you run this for 1 hour, right, it is not sufficient. But what you will do, again, you'll repeat the same data. Okay. So for that, you need to make this as stop thread on end of file is false. Okay. Now, sharing mode is like how you want to execute the test. That we'll see. See, when I run this for multiple times, right? So every time it should pick the new data. So now how do I pass here? In place of this data, you need to pass these variable names. So what are the variable names we got? In your CSV, you need to take those variable names, these things. From your CSV file only, we have to take. And here, you need to pass those variable names. I'm putting that under comments. So first one is what? Input name. In place of this value, I will pass this variable name. Can I directly pass like this? You cannot pass because it will treat this as a text. If I pass like this will treat it as a text. So how do I make this as a Jmeter variable? You just need to put that like not dollar and within the flower bracket. Now, like that for each of these variables, each of these field, you need to put this as a variable. Okay. Here in place of address, I need to put dollar flower bracket like this. Because any Jmeter variable will be passed like this dollar flower brackets and variable name. Dollar flower bracket and variable name. Otherwise, it will not treat this as a variable, first of all. Okay, so it will treat this as a text value only. Now, this is name, address, then city, right? These are all from where I'm getting this. It is you're getting from your CSV file only. From here on. These column names. This is called city. Dollar city. Then state. Then zip code. Right? Card type. Card number. Credit card month. Now, here and name on card will be somewhere here. Yeah, now I got it. Credit card year. Make sure that you use the same format or spelling. Just better you copy paste instead of typing. Right. Now what I did is, in place of actual data, I have replaced with these column names as a variable. Okay. So now when I run, actually, this will pick from this file. So this file should exist in this location. Okay. And when I run, these values will be passed from each of these variable name, like from here. Name will be passed under what all the names you got, and same like this. So it is established the connection between your Excel sheet and your Jmeter, and it will pass. So here, if I run for multiple times, it should pass multiple test data. Let us see. First record, Ashish chain, right? Now let us run this for multiple times. So let me run this for 10 times. Okay. So if I want to display like how many iterations it is running, right? So every time when I run, I want to know that iteration number. For that, you have some functions, okay, user defined functions that are available under here, tools, function helper dialog. Here, just type iteration number. If I just click on generate and copy, it will show this function will return the iteration number, like which iteration it is running, fifth or sixth. If I want to know, you can make use of these functions. I just need to put it here, like, what is the iteration colon, I'll put this value. So it will display the iteration number. If you want to know like which iteration it is running, make use of these functions in Jmeter. Now you understand. Let me run this. You can see first one is first iteration one, then iteration two. So that you'll understand which iteration, which test data it is passing. Now I put how many iterations? Loop means iteration, 10, right? So this will run for 10 times. You can see. 10 times. Now we can cross check whether what kind of data it is passing. So where do you check? When you click on purchase, in the request it is passing. Now it is passing what? Ashish, Ashwin, address is Medipatnam, Hyderabad. So let us cross check. Ashish Jain, Medipatnam, Hyderabad, Telangana. Dinners Club is the card type. Cross check. Earlier it was some other name, right? Now it is passing. Okay, here credit card type is Visa. So let us cross check with the actual data. I think this is Excel sheet I'm using. Okay, this is Ashish Jain. Oh, this data is different. So which file you provide, that file data on it will take. You can see this is the first record. Swin, Medipatnam, Hyderabad, Telangana, Visa. So this is what it is passing. You can cross check in the script. This is the credit card number. For the second iteration, let us see. Purchase, right? De Monte Carlis, address Denver City. So let us cross check. So that is okay. Here the data is different. Let me cross check with the actual data. So let me put this data. For 20 records, right? I think, yeah, I should. Yeah, now you can cross check with this one. Actual file. So second one is what? De Monte Carlo, Denver, Colorado, and name on call should be De Monte Carlo. So you can cross check. De Monte Carlo, Denver, Colorado is the state, zip code 16326. This is for second iteration. Now let us go for the iteration third time. Purchase. You can see. What is the name? Pankaj. Stonewall, cities Stonewall. Let us cross check. Pankaj, Stonewall, American Express, name and card also Pankaj. So you can cross check all the 54940. This is a zip code. It should be this, yeah, same. So data is passing, right? Earlier it was passing only single data. So now if I run for multiple times, it is taken different user data. But fifth time also you can cross check purchase. Louis Walker. So what is the fifth one here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one, right? Louis Walker. Hydeton, Pennsylvania Diners Club. Cross check. Hydeton, Pennsylvania, zip code, correct? Name and code also, Louis Walker. So this is, we are passing the test data for different users or the multiple iterations. You are passing this dynamically you are passing the static test data. So here, say there are different types of sharing modes are there. So we are able to pass. If I run for multiple iterations, you can cross check and see every time it is passing the different test data, right? This is working fine. So more options you need to know, like if I select share mode as all threads, what is the difference between all threads, current thread group, and current thread? These are three different. All threads, how does it work? Current thread group, how does it work? Current thread, how does it work? You need to understand this, okay? So to understand this, I'll put this in a separate thing. Let me put a new thing. So I want to test this with the differences I want you to understand. So what I'll do is I'll run this with, see, when you run this with single user, you may not understand the difference here. Say here, if I put all threads, now I'm putting the current thread. All threads we have seen, right? It is going in a serial order. Now when we run this for 5 iterations, I just changed it what? Sharing mode as current thread group. Iteration 1, Ashwin Medipatnam. Iteration 2, Demonte Callis. So it is passing the same thing. You can cross check. Demonte Callis, Pankaj, Neeraj Rai, Louis Walker. Iteration 3, Pankaj. So you don't understand the difference when you are running with single user. Now let me change this to current thread. Okay. This will also, when you are running with single user, it is picking the first one first. Next. Iteration 2, fourth one. Demonte Callis. Third one is Pankaj. So the order looks same for everything, right? Demonte Callis, Pankaj, Neeraj Rai, Louis Walker. Can cross check. Last one would be the Louis Walker only. You will understand the difference when you run with multiple users. Let us say you are running 5 records, right, with 5 users. Okay. Now let us see the difference. How does it work first? All threads. Now let me put this in this manner. Let me open this. Yeah. So let us assume let me put this here. Let us assume there are 5 users, right? I'm running with 5 users. Let me put small users. Different types of sharing mode we'll see. 1, 3. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me put this. User 1. Sorry. So 1 to 18. This is user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5. Right? Now these are five users. I will run this test data, 5 records only. Okay. So what is the test data we got? One, two, three, four. First 5 records, I'll take it off. Okay. Louis Walker is the 5th one, right? Let me put this. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe name we can cross check. Okay. Now we will see these users are using first method is what? All threads, right? So I'm running only for 5 times with 5 users. So if I want to get the difference between users and iteration, I need to mention which user is picking which data, right? So iteration number you are getting. I also want to display the when I run, I want to display the user number and iteration number. Iteration number, you know how to. User number also, if you want to display under functional helper dialog, you can also get the function for user number, or we call it as a thread. User is what? Thread num. This one. So when you click on generate and copy, it will generate the function, and that function will be copied. And I want to put that first iteration before the user. User colon and paste that one. Then underscore. First user number will come, after that iteration number. So this thing I want to put in all the transactions so that you'll have a clear cut before iteration number, I want to put the user user number and iteration number. Now you'll understand the differentiation. Without this, you will not understand the how the test data is passed. So they have given these three options, right? In the interview, they'll ask you what is the difference between these three. This one. When I select all threads, now I want you to understand how the first user is picking all these 5 records, and I'm running for only 5 iterations, 5 times. Each user 1 time. So when I selected first one of what I selected, all threads. So let me run and prove you how this will work. Okay. Now where is you can see run the users consequently one at a time. If I select this, the users should be in a proper way. One at a time. Thread groups, not threads. Because when you run with 5 users, we don't know which user will come first, which user will come next, right? So I want to go with user one, iteration one. Which one I want to pick? I want to pick this purchase, right? Purchase for user one and iteration one, this one. So what is the data is passing for user one? Ashwin Mehdipatanam. That is the first one. You can. So here, first user is picking this one. Okay. Now the second user 2 and iteration 1 I want. User 2. Second user, where is the second user? User 1. Yeah. But I want can I hide unwanted things? No, you cannot hide. Yeah, scroll automatically, that's fine. You cannot export this. It is only for viewing, right? Okay. So let me check for user 2 iteration 1 of 4. This is fourth one, right? Yeah. Fourth user 2 iteration 1. Second one, De Monte Carlis. User 2 will pick second one. User 3 will pick third one. User 4 will pick fourth one. User 5 will pick fifth one. This is called what? This is first remove this. We need to put for different types. This is for one type. Put this for. I will save this for another time. Okay, now in this type, what is this type is called? Sharing mode is all thread groups. This sharing mode is what? All threads. So in this type, how the users, if you are running with 5 users, each user will pick one, right? This one. This user is picking this one. This user is picking. This is called sharing thread. So now let me change the sharing mode and let us see. So the next thing is what? The next thing is this mode. I'll change it. Now the sharing mode will be. I will change the sharing mode. Let us go back and change the shape.